All right. So I want to welcome you all again. Today's class we are going to finish up with the data types we started on. Um okay, there's something I would like to clarify though. Okay, not really clarify, but I was this code the code we handled on the stuff we handled on math.random, right? The one we checked on Google and all that. So I personally went to study what is happening here because I did not really explain what is happening here. It's just I just wrote random math dot random minus 50 plus 50. And some people might be wondering what is happening here. It's just a range from 50 to 100. Oh, sorry. That skipped my mind. Thank you for drawing me to that. Can you see my screen now? You can see it now, right? Okay. All right. So yeah, I was talking about this code, this one that we found from Mozilla Docs yesterday through Google. So I did not really explain what is going on with this code. You know, I just brought it from the docs and I pasted it here and it worked. So it's a code that gives random number from 50 to 100. But then some people might be wondering what is happening in this code. Like they don't understand what is going on. They're just saying 100 minus 50 plus 50. Math of random times 100 minus 50 plus 50. What is going on? So now I would like to explain that for the people that are very new to JavaScript to understand what is going on here. So remember I told you guys that math.random math.random alone gives random numbers from 0 to 0.999, right? Then if we want to get up to 1, 0 to 1, we use the math.round, right? Which will round up that 0.9 down up to 1, right? That is why we added the math.round. Now, this figure is giving us 0 to 1. This code like this is giving us code 0 to 1. Let me start up my cooker. So yeah. So this code now is giving us 0 to 1, right? It's giving us numbers 0 to 1, 0 to 1. 0. So now we want to get from 50 to 100, right? 50 to 100. If I should multiply 100, I get 0 to 100, right? We get figures, sorry, we get 0 to 100, right? Why is this not responding fast? So now this is what we get. With this we get from 0 to 100. And now why is that? Because when this mass.random gives us 0, it multiplies that 0 by 100 to give us 0. When it gives us 1, it multiplies that 1 by 100. You understand? To give us 100, right? Now, if we want to now get from 50 to 100, we want to start, let it not start from 0, let it start from 50 to 100, right? Now, we want to start, this is our from this will give us 0 to 50, right? This will give us 0 to 50. Now, plus 50. What is this plus 50 doing? Plus 50 is saying when this is giving us 0, when this thing is giving us 0, add 50 to that 0 to give us 50. The least amount this code can give us right now is 0. That's the least it can give us, is 0 to 50. So the least it can give us is 0. So when you add that 0 to 50, it gives you 50. So telling you that the least amount it can give you now is 50. So it starts from 50 because of that plus 50, because of this plus 50. If it gives us 1, it adds 50 and gives you 51. If it gives us if it gives us 2, it adds 50 and gives you 52. So the amount starts from 0 to from 50 to any amount, right? Now we want it to go from 50 to 100, right? This is what we do. Remember we had 100 minus 50 plus 50. This is doing the same thing. This is doing the same thing as 50 plus 50, because 100 minus 50 is basically 50, right? I don't know if you guys are understanding. If you are lost, you can unmute and ask question. Well, I believe the silence means that everyone understands, right? Oh yeah, 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 you can speak. No, 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 it's not part of it. Okay, it's not part of the syntax. It's when you want to go above what this is giving you. Like when you want to get a maximum. Do you understand? Let me clean this so you can understand better. Let me clean this so you understand better. Better. Why is this giving? Okay. So now we want 50 here, right? If we change this value, if we keep changing this value, you see it goes from 0 to 50 because we added this multi times 50. We don't want it to go above 50. So any random value it gives you, it doesn't go above 50. You understand? It doesn't go above 50. Any value, any random value it gives you. You understand? So now if it probably gives you 50, right? And you add plus 50, this gives you 100. From 50 now to 100. So if this your code produces 50, as it comes up, if 50 comes up in this code, it adds 50 to it and gives you 100. And that is the maximum it can go. It cannot go beyond 50 because of this 50 right here. So if this produces 50, it adds 50, that is 100. If it produces 0, it adds 50, that is 50. So the range will now be from 50 to 100. To give you values from 50 to 100. It won't go beyond 100 and below 50. You understand? Yeah. 0 to 50. Yeah. 50. Yes. No, no, from 50 to 100. Yes, 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 from 50 to 100. Okay, let me give another example. Let's say we want to do from 100 to 200, right? Always remember what we did here at that time. Maximum minus minimum plus minimum plus minimum, right? Now, our maximum, we want 200 to be our maximum, right? 200. Our minimum is 100, right? And our minimum is 100. Now, this gives us random values from 100 to 200, right? Now, instead of doing this 200 minus 100, you can just come up and just put 100 here and it gives you the same thing. You understand? But for it to be more clearer, you can then use that maximum minus minimum plus minimum. You understand, right? Yeah. So that is basically what this code does. Then one other thing we wanted to talk about yesterday is ACI, ASCII, right? That is that track code that someone, I don't know if the guy that said he would read on it if he's here. If he's not here, I can actually talk on it because I went to look more on it yesterday. I looked more on it yesterday. So is he here? Let me know if he has. Well, I guess he's not. Okay, let me talk about it. Now, um, ASCII, right? As most people call it, ASCII, ASCII. That's what they usually call it. ASCII, right? Let me write it. ASCII. That is this code this table we were looking at yesterday. Now, now we did not know why those alphabets were giving us numbers, right? When we use the char codat, we don't know why it was giving us alphabet. Now, I read on it, and you know that the computer system, when the in the early days when the computer was first invented, even our present computers, it makes use of binary. Like it does this operation using binary, zeros and ones, right? The internet alone, the whole internet itself comprises of zeros and ones, right? And those days, the the computers they were using those days, right, made use of numbers even when they try to communicate to other people or to other computers. They mostly made use of numbers, right? And instead of writing English and the rest, okay, the full meaning of ASCII means American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Now that interchange there, American Standard Code for Information Interchange, that interchange there now is like a communication from one computer to another computer, or a communication from the computer to the human language, which is the English, right? And then it was the Americans that produced it, right? So it was based mainly on the English American language, like the American English. That was what it was based on, right? So instead of writing the normal alphabet we know, that is A, B, C, D, E, it used numbers. And those numbers were assigned to alphabets. Okay, let me give you an example. You know that in binary, right? In binary 100, let's take for example 1000010, right? In binary, this is 66, right? This value is 66 in decimal. If you convert this from binary to decimal, it's 66. Let's do the conversion. Let's see that to decimal. Sorry for my slow internet. Airtel is not so good here. And I use Airtel. So yeah. Okay, so before it loads up. So this binary figure here, this binary number, right, is 66. And 66 in ASCII is B, is the letter B, right? So ASCII was used by those computers, right? So instead of typing using ABCD. They use numbers. They assigned numbers to these different alphabets. Even symbols, they assign numbers to symbols and communicate using these numbers, right? Now, they can also it can also be used for confidential information also, because when some information which they don't want the general public to know, right? They use this ASCII to compute it because they know that not everybody can actually read or understand this. You understand? Someone that knows this can see figures around see figures in this screen, and he would know what those figures stand for, and it could be a sentence and you'll be able to read it. You understand? So I learned that this kind of code was mostly used during the World War, right? To pass information from one, those during those days there is mostly issues of information interception, right? Countries are against each other. They try to intercept information that passed by their enemies, right? So instead of writing those information in plain English, they mostly use this. But then ACII is based mainly with English language, and not everybody can speak English, right? So people needed something that comprises with everybody, with all languages, sorry. And that is where Unicode came in, and that is what we use today. That is when Unicode came in. Unicode. Now, Unicode comprises of various languages and symbols, both Greek language and everything and all that and all that. I think I pronounced it somewhere. So these are Unicodes. It also has a table just similar to ASCII. These are Unicodes. And Unicodes comprise of both currency symbols, other languages, Greek language and all that. But ASCII does not support any other language except the American English. It doesn't even support currency symbols. And that is why Unicode quickly took over. Like people became more used to Unicode than using ASCII. That's why you rarely see anybody using that ASCII. You understand? People make use of Unicode and all that. Even your laptop, your computer. Okay, there's this code I learned. Let me show you a trick. Let me log a Unicode here. So we have so this Unicode is I think U1. Okay, so U1F600. This will give you an emoji. It's crazy, but when I found this out, it was crazy. Now this means an emoji. If you increase the figures, it gives you different emojis. The emoji that you know. And it's crazy, like you can imagine numbers giving you this kind of thing in your laptop. And very few people know about this. You understand? So it gives you different emojis, right? So these are Unicodes. And this is what I think the emoji you normally use in your WhatsApp, in your chat and all that. I think this is what creates it. Unicodes. You understand? So that is it about ASCII. I've not seen anyone using it in real life in a project, coding a project or something like that. I've not seen anyone using it. That is why I didn't really put much interest in it at first, because it's very well, no knowledge is a waste, right? It's good that we at least knew what it is. You never can tell where you come across it. So let's continue where we stopped in data types. So another data type I would like to cover is let's talk about search. The search. Now, search takes in it's a string method, and it takes in a substring, right? It takes in an argument, right? And it returns the index of that argument. Remember, we have okay, let me use a new data here. Just create a new sorry, let string 2 equal to, let's say this is a string, right? Now we want to search for a particular um alphabet, and we want to know the position of that alphabet in this string. Where is that alphabet located in this string? That is what we want to do. That's why the name search, that's what gives the name search. It's searching for a particular string, right, or alphabet, and to tell you the position of that alphabet using its index. Remember we spoke about index yesterday, where it starts from 0 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So each of these alphabets have their own individual index, right? So if you want to search for an index, let's search for A probably. Let's say string 2 dot search. I want to search for A, right? Let me console log this. Sorry. Yeah, so it gives me 3, and it finds the first occurrence of A in this string and gives me the location of that A. We have multiple A here, right? But then we want to get just but then it finds just the first occurrence of A. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, and it gives us 3, which is the location of A, the index location of A in this string, right? So now if I want to find um let's say T, right? And then I want to find a, let's say T, and I use a small letter T, right? It goes all the way to this place to get T, which is 20 index. But then I want to find this. I don't want to find this, but probably my in my argument is still a small letter T. That is where case um sorry. That is where we use something called regex. Some of you might not know it yet. It's still um it's still it's a crazy topic which we'll handle later on, but for now I don't want to go deep into regex. But I spoke about case insensitivity yesterday when we were talking about I think um which yeah, I spoke about it one a certain time yesterday, right? Yeah, include. When we were talking about include, I told you include is case sensitive. That is, if you put a small letter and you're searching for a capital letter, it gives you false. So now, if you want it to be case insensitive, you don't want it to consider it whether it's a capital letter or small letter, just give me that figure. Use the I use I to signify case insensitive. So now we want to get T, and T is 0. So it gives us the first T, which is 0, because I have included this I. Now you might be wondering what this slash is. This slash is used for regex, and regex means regular expression, right? It's used to when we get there, we'll talk more about it, but I don't want to confuse you with regex. Regex is a very complex topic. Even me, I have not really gotten a hold of regex, but with time we would learn it, right? So that is what this slash that is where this slash is coming from, right? If you want to check for an insensitive case insensitive, you want the search to be case insensitive, you add this, right? So that is the main purpose of search. It searches the string and gives you the index location of that string. That's where that string falls, right? then use the data and do whatever you want to do. So we talk another one about another one called match. Now match works like yeah, if you have a question, please talk. Okay, okay, yeah. Okay, if you want to find the position of all the A's in the string, right, you would have to use, I think that's where match comes in, right? You have to match all the A's at this string and produce the A's in this string, right? No, we'll talk about it. But now your first question, what is different between um search and include, right? And index of, right? Yeah, index of. Okay, first, search. Search doesn't take in a second parameter. That's first. Right? It doesn't take in a second argument. Index of those, right? Now, secondly, when you can't use a regex expression for index of. You can't use the way I use this slash t slash I. You can't use it for index of. You understand? Search works with regex also. When you're studying regex, you come across search because it works with regex. But index of doesn't. You understand? So index of, if you are looking for a capital letter A, you actually have to put a capital letter A. If you're looking for a small letter A, you have to put a small letter A. But you don't have to bother about that with search because of the aid of regex and this case insensitive icon here. So that is, I think, when you are, there are some times where you need index of instead of search. Understand? Because, well, I don't know, search is more flexible though. Search is more flexible in my opinion. But there are times you need index of just for you to know what this index of does. And when you get there, you understand what to do, right? So match now returns it returns an array. Right? Okay, it takes in an argument, a string argument, and it returns an array with information about that argument. Now, it doesn't just return the index, right? It doesn't just return the index of the alphabet. It also returns what the alphabet is, returns the string that you are using, and it returns the group. Now let's take for example, I want to match, sorry, I want to match a string. Now I want to match T. Let's say, okay, let's use the small letter T this time around, right? I want to match the small letter T. Now it gives me, as you can see, it gives me information about the small letter T. Right? It gives me the small letter T itself, gives me the index, and then it gives me the input where the T is coming from, and then the groups. Now, when you are using match, and you won't really just, probably you want to get information about information about a letter here, right? You won't really just push out your use match like that. Match, you can't see my screen. Okay, maybe you can go out and come back in. Okay, so now match most of the time is not just used alone, right? Match is used with some other things. You know how I think when we treat um, arrays, you know how to use the information from this match because it gives you an array. I don't want to jump into array now, but then when we treat array, you know how to use a particular information gotten from this match, right? As the array items. When we treat array, you know how to do that. But just know that match gives you um data or information about a particular substring in an array. You understand? Now, if I want to find I want to find all the A's contained in this letter, this sentence, right? I can just do I can just use now. Also, match works with regex. Also, I didn't say that. So match also works with regex. The same. Now we are going to use another regex syntax, which is G, and this G is is it means global. That is, it wants the match to search globally all the items in this thing and give me all the T present in this item in this string. As you can see, we have three small letter T's. One, two, three. So it gives me prints out all the T's. It also uses I, right? Which is case insensitive. As you can see, as we added the I, it printed the capital letter T because it is no longer considering case, right? Whether it is capital letter or small letter, as long as it's a T, it gives you that T. And that is why the capital letter T was added. I should remove the I, get only the small letter T's. So that's what the use of I and G is for, and their regex expression, right? Regex syntax. When we get there, though, you learn more about them. Regex is yeah, yeah. Go. String what? Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We can, yeah, we can. We can use G. Now, you can use G because yeah, yeah, yeah. It's going to return because of this case insensitive, right? It's returning the first one, right? Um, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. That's oh, that's true. That's true. Remember I told you search gives you the first occurrence of a value. So all of them are not first occurrence. So that's why it's giving you just the first one. So that is why the G is not working because it gives you that first occurrence of A, the first place A appeared in the sentence. You understand? And that is index of three. You understand? Yeah. Oh yeah. I hope you guys understand what this match does though. It gives you information about a particular sub substring in a string. I hope that is clear though. So I'll check on that groups, right? I'll check on it and get back probably in the group because I won't be the one to handle the next class. So in the group, you can watch out in the group. I'll drop information about groups. Yeah. So the next method we are going to look at is repeat. Repeat. Now repeat takes in an integer, that is a number. It takes in a number and it multiplies, or it gives you the amount of the string that you passed in. Let me give you an example. You might not understand what I'm saying. So I want to multiply this string, right? Let me create a shorter string. Um, let's my last name. So I want to multiply. I want to get multiply this. I want to get multiple result of this last name, right? I can just do. Let me log it first. So my last name dot repeat, and then if I should put 10, it repeats this this interior 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It repeats it 10 times, right? That's what this repeat does. Whatever value you pass in here, it repeats it the amount passed, or the number passed, or the integer passed, whatever way you want to say it. So that is what repeat does. So if you want to repeat a particular string multiple times, you can just easily do this by using repeat. So yeah, it's repeating as a string. Yeah, yeah. A space where? Okay, if you put a space, yeah, it will add that space. Now, the reason why when we are counting, the reason why when we are counting a string, right, we are also counting the space. That is because JavaScript recognizes space as, should I say, data or a value. JavaScript recognizes space. That's why when you are counting this now, right, you want to get the total of this thing, the index of this whole string, right? You are going to include the space in your counting. So when you include this space, JavaScript is seeing it. It adds that space. You understand? It adds that space. So that is one trick with JavaScript. You get that, right? Okay. So there are so many other this thing which we can't cover for now. So many other methods, string methods. I think there is slice. You all must have heard of. Some people, not all, sorry. Some people must have heard of slice. This does similar thing as substring. It does similar thing as substring. That is, remember substring? I told you substring cuts a string out of, it cuts a substring out of a string, right? And slices a substring out of a string. It has it takes two parameters, which is the start and then the length that you want to. So that is how string works. Although string takes in two parameters, which is the start and understand. So it works similar, right? Also, yeah, yeah. Soft string. No, all of them almost does the same thing, except this one just takes the the length. Yes, while this works same thing as slice, so, which is start and end. So this is what they do. Right? So another one I would like to, probably you can go and read on it, splice. Now splice is different from slice. And when I was starting, to be honest, these two things confused me a lot. You understand? You won't know when to use splice, you won't know when to use slice. So I'll leave that for you to go and figure it out. We can't talk on all the whole methods on string because there are a lot. We have We have pad start, we have pad end. This one by the name you should know what it does. It adds spaces. Like, remember I told you trim removes spaces. Pad start adds spaces at the start of a string. Pad end adds spaces at the end of the string. Trim removes all spaces. Understand? So there are so many other methods on this thing. We have even this match. We have match all. We have match all. Understand? We have match all. We have so many others. So I encourage you all to go and okay one okay, I'll drop a book for you guys. No, not everyone loves, some people rather learn faster by reading, like me. I prefer reading a code in a book, studying a code in a book. It helps me a lot, so that when I'm coding it out, I won't have to start watching videos like some other people do, watch video over and over and over again. You understand? So I will drop a book. I have a book on JavaScript, a very good book. It's kind of long, though. It's a nice book. The Definitive Guide Master, the world's most used programming language, right? On JavaScript. You can read it. You have I'm currently in the types, values, you have variables, it teaches you everything you need to know, like detail by detail. See all those math methods I was talking about, the ones we didn't treat, even the ones we treated, teaches you like step by step. So I will drop this in the group. You can get it from the group after the class. And I encourage you to no not everyone loves watching videos while learning. Some people burn a lot of data on YouTube, and at the end they don't really learn. You understand? Because they prefer learning by reading. So you can just get this book instead of burning your data and not learning. You can just get this book, study JavaScript, learn page by page, and before you know it, you're at the end, you're a master and all that. So I'll drop the book in the group for those interested. So now that is that. Now one other thing I would like to talk on before I finish is how to check data types. We can't just be having data types everywhere. We won't know how to check if this variable is a string, or if it is a number, or if it is a boolean that is true or false, or if it is undefined or whatever, right? So now the best way to check that is by using type of, something called type of in JavaScript. Right? Now I might see this last name somewhere else in my code, right? Maybe I have a long code or a big code, and I see a function that is making use of last name, right? And then I'm wondering, okay, what is this last name for? Now I can just add the type of to that name, and to give me what string that name is. Now I can just say type of, let me log it out. Log it so type of my last name, and it gives me string. As you can see, it gives me string. Let me see if I have a number here. Okay, I don't have a number here. Okay, let me just create a number. So if I should equal to 2 now, for instance, and I log type of 2, gives me number, because the type of this variable is a number. So that is what type of is used for when you want to check the data type of a variable. Now in JavaScript we use a lot of variables, a whole lot of variables. We use variables for almost everything. So to check the type of what that variable is, the type variable is, you can just use type of. So now JavaScript, remember I told you JavaScript is a weakly typed programming language. That is, it doesn't really put into consideration the flexible changing of types anyhow. You just can just change the type. Like now, I can just change this num2 to a string, and then when I log this num2, it becomes a string. It becomes a string, and I don't want that. You understand? Sorry, not like I don't want that. JavaScript allows that. You understand? But some other programming language doesn't allow this. That's why JavaScript is called weakly typed. You understand? It's code like programming languages like Solidity, the one I work with. You don't do this at all. You don't dare do this. It will just give you an error message, and you wonder, what did I do? Although it's similar to JavaScript, it works similar to JavaScript, but you don't do this. You can't just change the type of a variable anytime you want to change it, or anyhow you want to change it. But JavaScript allows that. And it has advantage and it also has disadvantage, like I told you in the first class, right? Beginning of the first class, where one advantage is that it makes the coding easy. Understand? Especially when you are still a beginner, it makes coding easy for you. But when you are now working for a large in a large app, probably you are new to a company and they tell you to go through their data, their app, and you should they tell you to, can you hear me? Oh, fuck. Did you have to disconnect? Did you have to disconnect? Can you guys hear me? I don't know if I'm still.
Yes.
Okay, you can hear me, right? Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
like I was saying, you can't just, okay, one advantage is that if you're a beginner, it makes coding easy for you. But when you're working for a big app, it becomes very stressful. When you're trying to debug something, it becomes very stressful because at one point the variable is a number, at another point the variable is a string, at another point it just makes everything stressful. You understand? So now to change data types, in JavaScript, right? There are methods to use, right? So and it's called casting. When you want to convert one data type to another type, it's called casting. Called casting. So one method that does this is pass int. Yeah, pass int is one method that changes data types. So now remember our this thing is to here, right? I can just easily change this to. Now pass int changes a number string to a number, right? It changes a number string to a number. Sometimes you come across a number that is a string, right? Like this 2 now is not a number, it's a string, right? If you check this now, it has changed to string. It's giving us string because the 2 now is a string. So now I don't want it to be a string. I want to convert it to a number, an actual number. I can just use pass int and do that, right? Now let me give it a new variable. Say int equal to pass int. Then when I check the type of node2, I get number. Sorry, not int. And I gave it a new variable. When I check the type of int, I get number because num2 now has been converted to number, right? I can even console log int and to give you 2. Now this 2 is not a string, it's a number currently because I've converted the string to a number using pass int. That is the main use of passing. It changes number changes string number or number strings to numbers. Right? So another method that does this is number. We have a method called number. Right? Let me let me comment this out. So currently we have num2 as a string, right? And then I want to change it to a number. I can just say let me give it a very calculator. No, equal to number num2. Now if I should log the type of num, I get number because I've converted this string to a number. If I should log the num itself, I get 2 as a number. I get 2 as a number, right? So one other method you can use is the plus sign. Yeah, yeah. Okay, there's no difference though. There's no difference at all. But there was a time I was in a debate. You know all these Twitter spaces. I was in a Twitter debate that people just come up, developers just come up and argue about anything in any programming language, right? And someone brought this idea of pass int, using pass int and number, right? And majority of them, right, advise that it's better you use pass int whenever you are trying to convert than using number because I don't know, I didn't really get their reason, right? But most of them preferred using pass int to number. And I don't know why they preferred that. But originally it has no difference. It does the same thing. Pass int gives you converts a number string to number. Number also converts number string to number. So you can use any one you want to use. You can use any one you prefer. Although number looks more readable. To me personally, I feel number looks more readable. If you don't know, if you're not really good at JavaScript, right, and you come across this number, you would know what I'm trying to do. You would know that I'm trying to convert this into an actual number because of the word number. You understand? If I see passing it won't really give me that idea that I'm trying to convert this into a number unless if you actually think deep. So this is more easily readable than passing. That is just one preference over one preference of number over passing. You understand? Just for readability. That's to me, right? So now the plus also does the same thing. Now most people prefer using the plus over the both of them. Let me show you how the plus works. So currently, let me comment this out. So we currently have num2 as a string, right? So now I want to convert it to a number. I can just say plus 2 and I get 2 as a number, right? Let me do the type of so you can see I get number by just adding the plus sign to that value. Now the plus sign converts it to a number because JavaScript will think okay, I'm trying to do a math arithmetic operation using the value. So it converts that value to number because of the plus. You understand? The computer is like people say, the computer is dumb until yeah? Yeah, come. Okay. No, 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 no. Okay, the thing is when you're using plus to add two strings, it doesn't add it like maths. It adds the two string like you are concatenating it. Okay, Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah. You mean this, right? This is what you're talking about, right? Is this what you're talking about? Okay, okay. Okay, let's give it a variable. Go to this, right? Then we want to check the type of add. It gives you a string because why is giving you a string? Because yeah, yeah. Why is giving you a string? Because when you do this, right? JavaScript doesn't add, it doesn't see this as a number. It's seeing it as a string until I add a plus. Sorry, not the- so I add a plus. It changes to a number, as you can see. If I should remove that plus, it gives me a string. If I should add the plus, it gives me a number. Type of, yeah, yeah, that is what they call it. So the type cohesion, type cohesion, yeah. So if you don't add the plus there, what JavaScript is seeing is the string of 3 plus the number of 3 and to give you 33. It's adding that string, it's just concatenating the string to that number and to give you 33 and to change that number to a string. That's why it's giving you a string. Now the value you get here is 33 instead of 6. But if I should change this to times, we get 9. Now you might be wondering why is this giving 9? Because it gives 9 because at this moment JavaScript now is seeing that you are trying to perform a math operation using this multiplication. So it converts this string for you to a number and multiplies it, but it doesn't do that with plus. Remember when we were talking about um, concatenation? Remember we have a string Victor plus here. This is a valid code because of this plus. To add this string to this string, and that is what it is recognizing here. You understand? But now if I do Victor multiply Nkire, to give me error because this won't work. Like it won't add Victor to Nkire because it doesn't recognize this as, it doesn't work as it's working here, as the plus is working, right? And same thing here, plus doesn't work as the multiplication is working. If you multiply it, it changes this number and gives you 9. Do you understand? Even division, you don't, I think it's only uh, yeah, plus. Yeah, it doesn't work for minus. It's only plus. Yeah, yeah. And remember I told you it works like this. It's JavaScript. It sees plus as something that just joins things together, not really doing the addition until the number and the number, until it's number and number. But it doesn't see plus as addition. It sees it as joining things, as concatenating things. You understand? So that's why plus doesn't work there. So so that is one way of converting a string to a number. Right? So now we'll talk on converting string to float. This is string to number, right?
Plus over the other two.
Oh yeah. No, many people just prefer. It just depends on you. Anyone you want to use because they all do the same thing. But people, some developers are lazy. Not even some. Almost all developers are lazy. They don't like stress, especially when they are coding. Instead of writing number or passing it, opening brackets, putting the value and all that shit, just put plus. And that's why some people prefer it. Just put plus in front of what you're doing and you converted it to a number. You don't need typing number, this one, that one. You understand? So many that is some developers prefer it using plus because of that reason. It's easy, it makes your work easy. You understand? You don't need to worry about typing a whole number and all that things. So oh yeah, yeah. Actually you can also do as int and number without assigning it to a variable. Okay, let me use this as an example. Um, let me use this as an example. I don't need to. I mustn't assign it to a variable if I convert it. I mustn't assign it to a variable. Okay, sorry. So this two now is a number, but let me show you. Let me log it out. The type of type of two. It gives me number string. Did I make mistake? That's strange. You need to assign it to a variable, right? Oh wow, just learning that. I'm just learning that. Thank you very much. But is there a reason why you need to do that? Do you have? Oh yeah, yeah. I think that's why I thought you could actually do it because there was a time I was using pass int right in a function and my results or what I was returning were I just used pass int the value right and it gave me what I wanted in number. So from there I thought you could actually use the pass int without assigning. That's interesting. Without assigning it to a variable. So, oh yeah, yeah, we did that. It did not work. Okay, let me do it again. Probably you didn't get it. So passing it. Okay, let me. So, yeah. Allow. Oh, I should add plus to the number. Okay. Yeah, that is what he said, right? He said you can only use it when you are okay. For example, now when you are returning something from a function, right? And you are using it directly, you're just returning the pass int of that value, right? You're not using it somewhere else or you're not using it something else. So that is when you are going to just use it like pass int the value. But that's what like from what I understood from what the guy said. So when probably you want to use this pass int for something else, right? You would have to like assign it to a value. Okay, let me let's take for example now you're not checking the type of directly, probably you just do this, right? This two now, it's not converting, like it's still a string, right? Because um yeah, say something if you want to say something. I thought someone wanted to speak. I guess not. Okay, so yeah, remember if you are I don't want to write a function for people that are not so good with this thing yet. But let me just do something here. Let's say we want to write a function, and that function is collecting a number, right? Okay, so let me assign it to a variable. So num so yeah, we'll collect the argument here. Let me say capital letter number, right? So now if I want to convert this to a number, right? Currently it's a string because of this, right? So I want to convert this to a number and I return pass int num. Some people might not understand what I'm doing here because we've not treated function, but I'm just trying to show something, right? Now let's log so okay. So have I called this? Why is it not giving me? I
You have
have
an
a
error.
num, right? I have an error. Okay. Yeah, I have a num. I can use num again. Let's use three then. So two. Now let's do the type of this. It gives us number, but then we are not assigning it to any variable. You understand? But then if you do this, just put in the pass int num2, it won't convert it. It will still give you a string. But when you are probably returning it, or you are checking the type of directly, that is when it will give you the answer as a number. I don't know if you guys understand that.
I feel like we should try using type of
Okay. We this yeah plus okay. Yeah, yeah, I understand. Let me so log type of plus num2, right? Not not this. Okay, I just log type of okay this. Okay. Yeah. So now we are this, right? You means this. Yeah. But if you use direct type of here, it changes it. Yeah. So that's what I was trying to explain with the function. Yeah, that's what I was trying to explain with the function, right? If you're just using it, if you're not using it direct, probably you just want to log it. It won't convert, right? You have to use it to do something. You have to return it, or you want to check the type of direct. That's when you want to convert. You understand? Just like how this function is working now. So if we are not returning this now, I don't think this would work. Sorry. If if we don't assign this to a variable and return that variable, this won't work. You understand? So next one I wanted to do is string to float. Right? Remember I told you last class that float means um, decimal numbers. So we want to return a test string, decimal number string to an actual decimal number, right? So to do this, we use pass float. The same way we have pass int here, we use pass float, right? Pass float. And pass float works also similar to pass int, right? There's no much difference to that. If probably let's say we have decimal equals to 9.8. Something with pass float is that it doesn't round up. Like changing this to a number, you should expect 10, right? Because 8 is greater than 5. But it won't give you 10. It will give you 9. Let me look. So okay, first let me check the type of. Let me show you the type of. Okay, currently is a number. So let me convert this to a string. So once you check the type of um, so it's a string, right? I want to convert it to number as float. Convert it to float tech, and then we have number, right? We have um, decimal number, right? But now if I should okay, let me assign this to a variable. Let's converted equal to this, right? Now let's log converted. I get 9.8. But okay, that is for um converting sorry, my head don scatter. That is for converting float. Now for converting float to number, right? That is when you have that issue of not rounding up, right? So this has converted 9.8 string to 9.8 number. That's what pass float does, right? Now to convert from float to number, right? We use pass int, the same pass int we use here. But then we are going to be using it for decimal, which is float, right? And now it doesn't round up. It doesn't round up. It gives you just the value. Let's give an example. So instead of creating a new variable, we're going to use deck, right? So I want to I've converted deck here to a number. So now deck is a number. Okay, we're going to use converted, sorry. So I've converted now is a number of 9.8, right? A decimal of 9.8. Now we're going to convert this decimal of 9.8 to